Welcome back. April, you might not know, is Alcoholism Awareness Month. Every year, around 95,000 Americans die from alcoholism. It is actually the third highest preventable cause of death every single year. It's a serious condition, but it also carries a lot of stigma and misconceptions with it. So this afternoon, Dr. Stevan Lahr from Family and Children's Services is here to talk about some of those common myths.
Yes.
We're happy to see you here, Dr. Lahr.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, good. So one common myth is that beer is safer than liquor.
Right.
Is this true or is this false?
It is false. I hear all the time, I only drink beer, so I don't have a problem, but alcohol is alcohol, so there's no safe form of alcohol. Routine drinking of any type of alcohol increases your risk of obesity, some types of cancer, and depression. And then remember, too much of any alcohol can lead to blackouts and alcohol poisoning and even death. So there's no safe form of alcohol.
Gotcha. And I think a lot of people feel that if they can hold their liquor, then they don't necessarily have a problem.
Right.
But why is that not true?
Sure. So if it takes more and more alcohol to get the same effect, then you're actually building tolerance, and that could be a sign that you're having a problem with alcohol. If you're not sure if you're having a problem with alcohol or not, there's actually an easy screener that you can do. 4 questions. It's called the CAGE questions, okay? So C stands for cut down. Have you ever tried to cut down on your alcohol and been unable to? A stands for annoyed. Have you ever been annoyed because someone has told you to cut down or has commented on your drinking? Then G is guilt. Have you ever felt guilty about your drinking? And E stands for eye opener. Have you ever had a drink early in the morning or first thing when you wake up to get those shakes off? If you answer yes to 2 or more of those questions, then you really do need to talk to either your primary care or your behavioral health practitioner about your alcohol use.
The CAGE, is it the CAGE method?
CAGE questions.
CAGE questions,
yes.
That's interesting. I never heard of that. Let's talk about the stigma that surrounds alcoholism. A lot of people feel like it's probably caused by a lack of willpower, but there are several mental health components to addiction.
Correct. So the lack of willpower is a false statement. So alcohol use disorder, like all other substance use disorders, is a mental illness, and it can be caused by a variety of things like genetics, psychosocial stressors, and like any illness, it has treatment. And so we have we have various medications, we have therapy, we have different psychosocial interventions that we can do. I think it's important to remember that if you feel like you need help, you really do need to talk to a medical professional, because going cold turkey from alcohol can lead to seizures, coma, and death. So it is a serious topic.
And if somebody is struggling with alcoholism, and we know of someone who is, what is the best way to approach them to help them?
Sure. I think like most things, it's that relationship and having a conversation. So based on what your relationship is, just express your concern and then offer to walk through the process with them.
Okay. Is there a bad way to go about addressing it?
Not addressing it is probably the worst thing that you can do.
Okay. Well, Dr. Lahr, thanks again so much. We appreciate your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Shannon.
Stacia, Jonathan, we'll send it back to you too.